The number one reason people aren't getting accepted to medical school is because they are not applying. Okay, let me say it again, but a little bit louder for the people in the back. The number one reason you or anybody else is not getting into medical school is simply because they're not applying. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. The worst feeling, right, and I'm talking about the absolute worst feeling, right, is when you see someone else that you know that gets accepted to medical school with GPA lower than yours, MCAT score lower than yours, experience level lower than yours, volunteering, shadowing hours lower than yours, everything lower than yours. Your stats completely supersede them. And it's one thing to, not do well on an interview, and that's not what I'm talking about. This is someone who doesn't even apply, doesn't even get the opportunity to interview. So when the medical schools are, separating you guys in categories by, your application strength, for instance, you're not even in that separation category. Why? Because you didn't even apply. And so obviously you should be happy for your friend if they got accepted to medical school. Give them a little round of applause. However, it's gonna feel really, really upsetting to you knowing that you didn't even give yourself a shot. Now, I mentioned it multiple times in the past. There's a website, it's called AAMC. They show you everybody that's applied before to medical school in whatever year the graph is in. They do it every year, I think. And you see that people with all sorts of GPAs are getting accepted, right? You see people with all different MCAT scores getting accepted. The number one reason you will not get accepted to medical school is because you will not even apply, and you need to stop that. I have a story to tell. I have a very good friend of mine, family friend actually. They had a higher GPA than I did, right? Almost by like 0.3 or 0.4 higher, so really high. Yeah, no, 0.3 higher, sorry. MCAT score, almost 10 points higher than mine, right? And I'm thinking we're both applying to medical school. We're both trying to get accepted, and she's telling me she didn't get any interviews. And I'm just like, oh, you're not interviewing? She said, no, I'm not interviewing, but it's okay. I'm going to just wait till next year, and then I'm going to apply and and hope to get accepted. And so I'm just thinking to myself, I know I'm not the strongest applicant, or I wasn't the strongest applicant, but even I got a few interviews. So how is it that people are choosing me over her? Is it because my charisma? Is it because the way I speak? Maybe the way the energy I bring to the table? Maybe it's a little bit more higher than her, yeah. But then I had to sit myself down and think, realistically, that's not true. Why? Because these people that I'm interviewing with, they've never met me before. They never heard me speak. They have never been exposed to my wonderful charisma, right? So how are they really choosing me over her? And so, after a couple of weeks later, and I got my last interview, get accepted, blah, blah, blah. I reached out to her and I said, you know what? I'm just curious. Did you apply late, perhaps? Because I applied late as well. And I still got an interview. How did you not get an interview, right? Tell me why. She told me she never applied. I said, say that again. She never applied. She never applied to medical school. I said, how's that even possible? She never applied to medical school. And I said, why on earth would you not apply to medical school? Like, what? Make it make sense. You did fine. She didn't apply to medical school because someone told her she wouldn't get in. And by someone, I'm talking about the dreaded Premed advisor. The Premed advisor told her that she wouldn't get accepted to medical school given her stats, so there'd be no point in even applying. And what she should do is take an extra year to get some more volunteering hours, some shadowing hours, and then try again next year. I got accepted to medical school that year. I literally did. And had I had that same Premed advisor who told me that, she would have probably told me I needed 2 or 3 years to get enough experience to compensate for my stats. And so it just was very disheartening to see that, I have another friend, friend of a friend, really. Friend's boyfriend, now fiance. That's too much tea. You don't even need that information. But the point is, there was a time when they were applying to medical school and they actually ended up not applying again. And they said, you know what, it's not worth it. I didn't really improve much on my MCAT. The person had taken the MCAT for the second time maybe scored maybe 2 or 3 points higher than the last time and chose not to apply. And it seriously infuriated me because once again, Here's someone that possibly could have got accepted, but they chose not to. At the end of the day, that website I told you about before, AAMC, and I should hopefully, if I remember, to include the link down in the description. But the point is, they show you the statistics. They tell you the percent chance of someone getting accepted. And I mapped out his percentage based off his GPA and his MCAT score. And he had about 29% chance of getting accepted. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, all I need is a 20% chance. Honestly, if I'm feeling really up to it, if I had a 15% chance, I would still apply. Because at the end of the day, this is your life. This is your future, right? I will chance my future every year for 15%. Like, that's perfectly fine. Maybe after 6 years, I might finally get in, hopefully before that. And as I'm, chancing it, I'm getting better stats somehow through extra courses, experience, whatever, maybe retaking the MCAT, doesn't matter. But the point is, a lot of people don't apply. I feel like we have this notion where the typical pre-med student is like 4.0, right? MCAT score 520, right? That is ideal. But most people who get accepted to medical school do not have a 4.0, actually. Most people who get accepted to medical school does not have a 520 MCAT, right? Most people who get accepted to medical school have far lower than that. And when I say far low, I'm not talking about, on the opposite end of the spectrum. But even 3.8, I'm not sure the exact details, but I'm pretty sure most people who get accepted to medical school don't even have a 3.8 GPA. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's true, actually. I think most people who get accepted to medical school don't even have a 515 MCAT. So the point I'm trying to make is, if you're not getting accepted to medical school, chances are you're probably not applying. And obviously, don't take those words literally. There's so many other reasons why you can't be accepted. But the number one reason people are not getting in is because they are afraid to apply. And so, like I said, there's so many other worries to feel that can hurt you. But ultimately, the biggest one is just a lack of self-confidence, right? A lack of self-confidence is why I didn't get accepted to medical school. So you mean to tell me that I was smart enough, I was capable, I was able, capable, able, same thing, whatever. The point is, you mean to tell me that I was ready to do this? It's just that I didn't believe in myself, and that's why I didn't get accepted to medical school? That is ridiculous to me. Ridiculous to me. So I guess what I'm trying to say with this video is be confident in yourself. Be confident in your abilities. At the end of the day, I understand you guys are pre-med students. You might not have the cash to bankroll application fees and all that, yeah? But think about it. This money is such a small amount of change compared to what you can make when you're actually living your dream and a full-fledged physician. Why would you not take that opportunity? Why would you not take a chance on yourself? Especially because people will take a chance on themselves to go pay for a trip to Dubai when they know they have no business flying to Dubai if they don't have the finances for it, but they'll put it on a credit card. But you won't be so afraid to put your application fees on a credit card or your MCAT test administration fees or whatever on a credit card? Come on now, stop playing. Well, since you can get a job at 14 years old in this country, you can make enough money to fund your fees. Simple as that. That's not an excuse. You're afraid to spend $1,000 on pursuing your dream, and that's why you're not applying. Confidence it's really ridiculous, the confidence levels over here. I hear it all the time, pre-med students who say they feel like they weren't good enough. And when I ask them their scores, I'm like, dude, you had higher scores than I did. And you didn't apply for what reason? So literally, that's all I have to say. Honestly, please, please, please don't make that mistake. If you can apply to medical school and you have somewhat of a chance, please take the chance. Please take the chance, take the chance, take the chance. Obviously, if you are far gone, like I'm talking your average GPA cumulative like 2.5, 2.6, MCAT score 490, that's a little different. Now you obviously got to be a little bit more realistic for yourself. But like I said, go to that website. That website breaks it down completely. See what your chances are, because at the end of the day, there's somebody getting in. There's been somebody who's got accepted with a 2.8 GPA before. Someone who's been accepted with a 494 MCAT before. It's possible. The point is, figure out your chances and also think about the schools you're applying to. But to work so hard for 4 years or 3 years or however many years you did undergrad, to not apply when you're already at the finish line because you're afraid of getting rejected, come on, man. Doesn't make any sense. All right, guys, I'm going to end the video like that, but please, if you went this far to get to the stage, to the point where you're watching this video and you're just waiting to click the apply button, please go ahead and click that button. because the worst thing you can do is not believe in yourself. If you don't even believe in yourself, how should we or anybody else believe in you, right? You have to have confidence. All right, guys, any comments, questions, concerns, drop them down below. I'll catch you guys at the next video.